from a theoretical physics point of view, I have a pretty good handle on how this anti-gravity, the dark energy related, the real anti-gravity, manipulating the fabric of space changing in time, how that really works. But that's not what we were discussing down at the defense contractor.
Right. This is more nuts and bolts and
well,
less
a different approach to the same objective. I'm not sure if they'll get there, but maybe.
Okay, switching gears a little bit. There's been a resurgence of interest in some recent developments in cold fusion. Have you discussed any of that?
No,
with
that
any
did
of your
not come up at all.
That did not come up?
That did not come up at all.
Yeah.
Now, the person who does track that is Brian Josephson, Nobel Prize physicist.
What are his
at
feelings
Cambridge.
about that?
He takes it very seriously, and he thinks it can work. But at some point, we'll have to get Brian to say what he thinks. But Brian is the man. I have not really been. I have really nothing important to say about the current cold fusion. But Brian Josephson does have a positive attitude about it.
Okay. Well, so where do you see things going in the next 6 months to a year on the advanced propulsion physics?
Well, I think I'll
research?
know more. We'll come back in a couple of weeks and see. Possibly it's going to go. Possibly it's not going to go. On the other hand, we have the thing that you were talking about. If Obama wins the election, then Cheney may attack Iran, and then it's then all bets are off. What's going to happen? We don't know if the country's even going to be here. So, as you said, the next 6 months are very unstable.
Well, obviously, all this has great applicability and relevance to generating our energy through fossil fuels, because if we could make this kind of a fundamental breakthrough in energy production, it would revolutionize everything.
Yeah, okay, but the problem here's the problem. The problem is the time lag. Even if we would develop anti-gravity, it's not going to be 10, 20 years before it has an impact on the man in the street.
Before it becomes engineeringly feasible and then practical.
Yeah. So there are these other stopgap measures, like what this defense contractor has, conversion of water waves into electricity. We have plenty of coal. Now, I know some of the wind energy people say coal is evil. I don't think that's true technologically. I think this particular defense contractor does have a clean way of converting coal, which we have huge resources of coal, and that's much more immediate. It's still going to take several years. It ain't going to help the people at the gas.
All right, so this new, without revealing any proprietary information, is this new process for converting coal into clean burning energy?
It's a new kind of fuel cell.
It's a new fuel cell.
It's a new fuel
All right,
cell.
so there's very little carbon emissions then.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about CO2 emissions.
What about toxic byproducts of the manufacturing process?
I'm not an expert on it, but as far as I know, that's not an issue. But and
there is the fact that coal does have to be dug up out of the ground, which is a very labor intensive and carbon intensive process to begin with.
But we have a lot of it in America. It can make us energy independent in terms of electricity needs.
Well, we don't have much of a choice. Obviously, oil is. We are probably. I don't know if we're reaching peak oil.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, even if we aren't, there are limited oil reserves, and with the industrialization of China and India, it will push us over the brink.
It's only going to push us over the brink.
Yeah, it's only a question of when.
$140
It's not
oil.
if, it's when.
Yeah. And we're going to see 200. Listen, gasoline. I understand Denmark's $12 a U.S.
Yeah, our economy would collapse if it was $12.
Well, but we are in danger of our economy collapsing.
Right.
Great danger of that. I think, and so in which case all bets are off. We're going to go back to plunge into a eco-catastrophe with billions of people dying.
Or we're going to go back into the new dark ages.
Yeah, new dark, like Mad Max.
Horses and plows,
Mad Max,
millions
that
of people will starve to death, and the cities will go dark.
Yeah, that's a real possibility. That could happen.
Yeah,
that could very.
I know. I
hope it doesn't, but it may
too.
happen in the next year or two. I hope it doesn't. So all bets are off. Let's just see what's going to. We have to meet bi-weekly to see how it's going. We're on the brink, and if we survive, it's by the skin of our teeth. That's probably a good place to end.
So are you optimistic about where the state of the science is going with regards to solving some of these problems?
I'm semi-optimistic about the state of the sciences. I'm not optimistic about the politics of science. And I mean, a lot of dishonest and stupid people are in control. I'm talking within science itself, within physics in particular. And I recommend the book The Trouble with Physics by Lee Smolin, and also Not Even Wrong by Peter Voigt, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's too complex an issue to get into right now. And I'm actually not optimistic.
And
about
don't forget the new
politics,
stardrive.org website that we're putting up,
Right,
which is
yeah.
going to focus on these issues.
assuming that we're all here in 6 months.